So you flipped off Patrick Dumont, and then that took us where? Like, walk us through this whole process of where we are now to you now being an internet sensation.
Right. So, yeah, it started on opening night when we got beat bad. And I mean, that game wasn't competitive at all. So by probably 2 minutes into the third quarter, I was just in a bad mood. I was just, sitting there licking my wounds like this sucks. And on the way out, I told my dad because I was like, I want to walk past Patrick on the way out. And I told him, I was like, Patrick, you're a genius. Um, and then flipped him off. And my dad saw me flip him off. And he actually whistled at me to come back, but I thought it was security, so I never turned around.
Okay, so then walk me through how you end up having the conversation with Patrick after that.
Right. So I was talking to the woman who runs our seats. Her name's Tammy. And I was like, I need to go apologize to Patrick. She knew that I had to go apologize to Patrick, and she was kind of holding me accountable for it. But Patrick's security guards heard me talking about that, and they were like, no, you can't go up to him. But I then explained to them what the situation was, and they walked up to Patrick, and Patrick told them that he wanted me to sit next to him. And that's how I ended up sitting next to him in the Lakers jersey, having that conversation.
So what did he say to you?
Yeah, so the conversation started. He was very receptive of my apology, and then he just kind of started asking me about who I am, like my history as a Mavs fan, and we got to talking about the Luka trade, and he said that he regretted the trade or that he felt bad for the trade. I don't remember his exact words now. It's been a few days, but something along those lines.
What is that moment like for you as a fan? Like, so Nico, but peek behind the curtain for me. I'm a lifelong diehard Raiders fan, right? Been a Raiders fan my whole life, and I was lucky enough a few years ago, standing on the sidelines, that I ended up having a 20-minute conversation with Mark Davis, the owner of the Raiders. And when he walked away, I was giddy because I was like, I cannot believe I just talked to my favorite team's owner. What was it like for you sitting down, you're in a Luka jersey, so you're trolling him, and you're having a conversation with him all at once. What was that like for you?
Yeah, for me, I was just trying to I was kind of judging him. I was like, well, is the team in good hands? Because you really only see the stuff on the headlines. So I was like, I walked away from that conversation very happy because I felt like, from what I gathered, he does have the best interest of the team in mind, and I felt like he's involved more so than the media says. So I was just happy that I felt like I could trust the ownership.
Do you feel like you are partly responsible for Nico Harrison getting fired?
I don't, but I'll take all the credit I can online.
I mean, there is
Very
some
well
moment
said.
when you go talk to your friends afterwards, knowing how the world, especially Mavs fans, have reacted, what was the reaction from your friends when your sensation and Nico gets fired and it happens so close together like this?
Oh, my friends actually were the ones trying to convince me that I had an impact. My friend Oliver was even like, I don't believe that these are not connected. Like, he was sure of it.
That's awesome. So you're in school in Dallas now. You go to SMU?
I do, yes. I actually just finished a math test 10 minutes ago.
I hope it was an A. Fingers crossed for you. We'll be hoping for the best. So, I'm sure, obviously SMU in the heart of Dallas, I'm sure there's so many Mavs fans that you go to school with. Like, when you're walking around campus, do you feel like big man on campus? Like, are people shouting at you? Like, are you a celebrity? Are people asking to take photos with you? What's life been like since that night?
Not on campus. I don't think people really care. I have had some of my friends come up to me like, bro, you're famous. And I'm like, yeah, a little bit. At the Mavs game last night, I went last night to the Phoenix game. I did get a couple fist bumps and took a picture. But no, I don't feel like a particular celebrity or anything like that. Oh, that's the picture I took last night. There you go.
Yeah.
Back in a Mavs jersey.
Yeah, here's the real question. What'd you do with the Luka jersey? Where is the Luka jersey now?
It's on the floor in my pile of clean laundry.
Okay. So will you still rock the Luka? Like, where are you on your fandom then? Like, because obviously you Mavs fan diehards, you're sitting there right by the court. Does part of you then have split loyalty now to Luka?
I mean, I'm always going to root for Luka. It'd be a lot easier to root for him in blue. I don't root for the Lakers. I tried when we traded Luka. I watched a lot of their games, and I just can't bring myself to root for the Lakers. So I want Luka to do well, but if it comes down to it, I'm a Mavs fan.
So we've had this conversation so many times, the two of us on this show in our production meetings. I want to ask you, as a Mavs fan, you're emotionally invested into this. Was the Luka trade the worst trade in sports history?
That or Babe Ruth. I think because of, there was no media coverage when Babe Ruth got traded. So I think this one definitely will go down as the most infamous trade. But yeah, and I think not only was the trade bad from a basketball standpoint, but he lost his job. He lost his respect in the city of Dallas. Like he gets, I've seen videos of him getting harassed at dinner, like just everything. I think if you look at it holistically, then yeah, it's the worst trade in sports history.
Okay, so you're a Mavs fan. Are you also a Cowboys fan?
Yes, I root for all Dallas sports, except I'm a Red Sox fan.
Okay, random. We'll unpack that later. But, Dallas also, fans were suffering from another trade when Micah Parsons was traded. How do you compare those two, the Luka Dončić trade versus the Micah Parsons trade?
I think I was mad about the Micah trade as well, but I was mad for a different reason. I felt like we had to trade Micah because we mishandled the situation, whereas the Luka trade we didn't have to trade him. He thought he was going to be here for the rest of his career. So I think they're very different in the sense that one kind of had to happen because of mistakes that had already been made, whereas the Luka trade was just a one-off mistake that it was an unforced error.
So you mentioned that you believe that the ownership group has the best interests in mind. With that being said, do you believe that part of that is keeping AD? Is AD going to be part of the long-term plan of the Mavericks?
I think Anthony Davis is a very good basketball player. I don't think he's part of a long-term championship for us. I think trading him is admitting that we're entering a rebuild, which kind of sucks because we were in the finals 18 months ago, but I think we just have to cut our losses, realize a rebuild is the only way to win a championship in the coming years, and just trade Anthony Davis. He hasn't played for us even really. So yeah, I think trading Anthony Davis is part of the step towards a championship.
What do you think of all the conspiracy theorists that believe that Luka was moved to the Lakers because the league wanted that, and that's why the Mavs were gifted the first overall pick in the draft to give them Cooper Flag? What say you, Nico?
So I am the least conspiracy theory inclined person of all time. I think it was Nico who wanted to trade him. I think we got lucky on the draft. I think everything happened the way people say it happened. I think I pretty much don't believe in a single conspiracy theory. So I think they're completely bogus.
Does Cooper Flag though then give you great hope moving forward? Are you all in on Flag will save the organization in the next 10 years?
I hope so. From what the NBA players say, and from watching him, I think he can be what we need. But, in my opinion, NBA teams don't win a championship unless they have a top 5 player. So you can never tell if somebody's going to be a top 5 player in the NBA. But, he definitely has that potential. And I think moving forward, he could save us.
Yeah, I think he has what it takes to be a star in this league. But I will ask you to touch on your now new close personal friend, Patrick Dumont. Of course, he wasn't in the best of graces with Mavericks fans, after the trade happened. Do you think that fans are now even more behind Patrick Dumont after firing Nico Harrison?
I think so. I think they're a little happier with the team. You always see there's always people on social media that are hating, or even I have haters on social media now. So it's like, there's always going to be some negativity.
Yeah.
There's always going to be some negativity surrounding public people. But yeah, I think for the most part, people knew Nico was the culprit, and getting rid of, him, I think definitely won some fans back for sure.
Would fans in Dallas and of the Mavericks in general be happier if Mark Cuban was still in charge?
I think maybe just because we know Mark Cuban has been successful, we're comfortable with him, and we're just it's the W know versus the W don't. But I think when Patrick has been around for longer and fans grow to know him as an owner, and I think he just got off to a bad start, but once people start getting comfortable around Patrick, they'll be just fine with him.
Nico, I can't wait for the day that we see you on your seats right there by the court, ripping apart your Luka jersey because you were full Hulk Hogan and you're gone. It's gone. It's gone from you, man. Thanks for your time. On behalf of Mavs fans everywhere, are going to be cheering you everywhere you go. Congratulations on the moment, though. This, no matter how it works out, whatever it means for everybody else, it's got to be pretty cool to suddenly be famous all over the place for something that your fan base loves. That's rare. So we appreciate you taking the time, Nico, to join us. Thanks so much for your time, buddy.
Yeah, no problem. Have a good one. Thank you.